does the Twitter X ads glitch work with only targeting the United States? And I didn't think the answer was yes. Haven't tried it yet. In fact, I don't know if I'll be able to recreate this, but I think something's up. I think something's up. So as I recently have talked about, Twitter X ads, because of me, and then because of all of you, and then because of the people like me who learned this from me and then shared it, we basically saturated Twitter X ads with this glitch. I thought the glitch was going to stop working because the X team was going to fix it. They didn't. Let me back up for a second if you don't know what the glitch is. This is a glitch with Twitter X ads that I discovered several months ago. I made a TikTok series showing exactly how I do it. That's $4.99. I also made a podcast for free telling the settings. So you could watch how I do it, hear the edge cases, or just not pay anything and listen to the podcast. That's episode 80 of The Edward Show. And why this glitch is so amazing is because when I discovered it, I was literally getting like 1.5 million views, impressions a day, and like 10,000 link clicks for $1 a day ad spend. I called it a glitch because there were so many different things about it that didn't add up. So many reasons why the ads platform was glitching out when I would do this. And so I called it a glitch, and also because 1.5 million impressions and 10,000 link clicks for $1 a day ad spend. At the height of it, I was getting email newsletter signups for, I don't know, 2 cents, 1.5 pennies. And I thought Twitter X was going to fix it, and then it would stop working. And now you get 200,000 impressions for $1 a day ad spend, which is still pretty good, but it's not what it was before, not by a long shot. And the reason why it's so much worse now is because everybody started doing it. Everybody started doing it, and it's still good, but I have trouble doing it now because not because it's not working for me, just because I know what it used to be. And I'm hung up on, it used to be so good and it's not like this anymore, and I'm stuck in that. But people still seem to like it, so I'm happy to have brought all that value. Happy to have ruined a good thing for myself. I mean, I was the only person that knew about it, I assume. And now everybody's doing it. But here's what was interesting. There was a guy who hit me up on TikTok today. And I want to read what he said. I want to read you what this guy said to me. Shout out Bernardo. This is Bernardo who said this. Bernardo Balroa. He said, I did a mistake with some ads I created for me and got 16,000 impressions with the United States. And I said, for what price? And he said, $1. I said, you used my settings? He said, yes. And so he used the settings. He says he used the settings for Twitter X ads, which I've shared in episode 80 of The Edward Show. I show myself doing in the TikTok series. If you want to get that series, you just go to my profile on TikTok. You can search build in public, like building a house. Build in public, and then click series. You'll find it. This guy just used my settings and got 16,000 impressions in the US for $1 a day ad spend. And I'm thinking, that's pretty good. That's actually not bad. That's more than I would have assumed. Definitely more than I would have assumed. And I was very impressed with that. So I'm wondering, to what extent do Twitter X ads work in the US? I'm not sure. Haven't tested this myself today. I've had a very busy day moving into a new apartment in this Polish city. There's a lot going on. Signed a lease today. Tons going on. Tons and tons and tons going on. This is one thing that I have not tried. 16,000 US impressions for $1. I don't think that's too bad. Not too bad at all. I do miss spending $1 a day and getting like 1.5 million just global impressions. I mean, it was so crazy. This is the type of person that I am. The day that I discovered it, I made a video about it, and that video went viral. And I made a podcast about it on the same day that I discovered it. I didn't even give myself a chance to reconsider. Edward, do you really want to share this? Do you really want to blow it up? Why don't you use it for yourself for like a few months and then blow it up and then do it? I didn't even give myself, like the dummy I am. I got so excited. I said, my TikTok homies are going to love this. The people watching my stuff are going to love this. I was maybe like 2 months into the podcast, into this podcast at that point. I said, my podcast listeners are going to love this. I got to bring the value. And that's what I did. And you know what? I want to just go on a little bit of a rant. Everybody else's marketing content sucks. Pretty much everybody else's. Very few people actually give insights that are short and easy to digest and have a high amount of direction and clarity. Very few people are willing to do that, and I do that. I wanted to see what else was out there on TikTok for if you just search like Black Hat SEO, for example. Go ahead and search it on TikTok, Black Hat SEO. It's garbage. You will waste your time. It is just complete platitudes, boring, no substance videos. Nobody shares stuff. I share stuff. I differentiate myself because I am willing to go to the places where other people are not and share the stuff that other people think they have to keep for themselves. And I don't care. I will just share it because it is fun to share and it is fun for me to talk about. And I like connecting with other nerds like me, other marketing nerds like me. And that's what I get by doing this. And all of you who are listening, you are marketing nerds and that's why you're listening to this. And you guys hit me up and it's great. And I appreciate it because I like talking about this stuff. I like learning what other people are doing as well. Because you can't Google. This is one thing that I've learned. I was trying this. I was trying to get content for the podcast. You can't Google great marketing articles, great SEO articles, great growth hacking articles. You can't Google that because what you will get is super long articles filled with platitudes and filled with, it's like air, just no substance, just nothing there. Nothing there. You won't get that. I'll say there are a few people out there who actually say good stuff. Neil Patel is one of my favorite people, legendary marketer. He tells it like it is. One of the reasons why he is one of the most sought after performance marketers, digital marketers in the world, one of the most famous marketers, is because he gives the numbers, he gives the data, and he shares stuff, and he goes deep sharing stuff. And he's one of the best out there. I've really been liking Brett Malinsky. He has guests on who sometimes go deep, and it's cool to see. But the podcasts are really long. Those are 3-hour podcasts or 2-hour podcasts. And so there's still a lot of fat in there. And I want people it's just not that much fat. This episode, there's some fat on it. I'm not going to lie. There's some fat on it. Had a crazy day. I'm recording this at 12:35. I'm recording this at 12:35. I'm going to edit it and go to sleep. There's some fat on here for sure, but I'm recording it here. Let me trim some of the fat and just go. I had this thought really fast. I'm going to end the podcast after this, but there was a thought that I had. There are basically camps and schools popping up in the United States to teach kids how to be YouTubers because the number one vocation for children is YouTuber or is influencer. It's doing what I'm doing on TikTok and having a podcast and on Instagram. It's doing that stuff. And the thing that's so hard to teach, which I have tried to teach to other people, and I will be honest, I have failed teaching this to a lot of people. So I've seen how hard it is. It's consistency. It's just doing it every day like I have done. It's making a TikTok every day for 400 days. 400? I'm almost at 400. Making a daily podcast every day. You don't have to do a podcast every day. Podcasts can be more about quality, but I think what I heard is you should release like 2 or 3 a month. You should aim for that. I do 30 a month because I think it's a way to stand out. But look, a lot of people don't have an innate gift to just immediately make viral content. And the best way to learn is to do something every day. And most people can't do that. And the other thing is, if you do something every day, people build habits around your content and you gain a loyal following. I've talked about this before. Daniel Kahneman, he wrote this book called Thinking Fast and Slow. I love that book. He's a psychologist. He talks about human biases. And I recall him talking about a bias that we have is when we hear something over and over again, we're more likely to believe it and trust in it. Consistency is a real thing. People like it. People like building habits around content. And so when you're willing to put out content every day, it's an easy way to grow. And it's a hard thing to teach. You really have to in order to do it, a friend of mine, he's been trying to do it on TikTok. His name is Elad. He's been failing. He missed the last 2 days. Such a shame. He was so enthusiastic about it. Couldn't do it. The thing is, in order to do it, you really have to understand the value in it. What helped me was just going back and seeing how bad Mr. Beast's early videos were. He left them up on YouTube for this reason, so you could go and see how bad they are and how good he is now and how big he is now, to inspire people like me and to inspire other people. People do that with my content. They look at my early TikToks. They're garbage. They're so bad. Or listen to my first podcasts. The content is good. The subject matter is good, but they sound really just not good. I have a friend, another friend. I went on his podcast last week, and he just released that. His name is Yon. He has a podcast called In Growth We Trust. It's a very good episode. And he said that I inspired him to do TikTok, and he's doing it every single day. And he asked me for advice. You can hear my advice on that, but I'll tell you what it was. It was be okay with releasing garbage, because over time the garbage improves and eventually it stops becoming garbage. Also, some of my biggest hits, they were just super lazy. And from that, I learned. And if I wasn't putting out something a day, I wouldn't have gotten those lessons. Not at all. Anyway, this is episode 139 of The Edward Show. It is now 12:40 a.m. What is this crazy guy doing? Tomorrow I'm going to wake up early, move out of this hotel, fully move into this new apartment, and then just go back and forth in Ubers to different stores around the city, getting stuff for it, make it super comfortable. I'm going to have this really good office in it. I'm so excited to have this office in it. It's going to be some good times. I'm going to put out some crazy work in the next couple of weeks. Ooh, crazy work while cooking crazy, just incredible, fresh European food from the farmers markets. I love farmers markets. I'm here in the city with two of my close friends from New York, and life is good. Life is good, y'all. I hope life is good for all of you. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to all of you again tomorrow. Bye now.